Well, hello from the SoFi Stadium press box. You just witnessed one of the great finishes in 49ers franchise history, and that is illustrious franchise history. The 49ers have announced themselves as true Super Bowl contenders. They just went out there on that field here at SoFi Stadium and beat the heavily favored Rams without a boatload of their starters. In overtime, in the most dramatic way possible. I mean, we've seen so much here on the SoFi Stadium field over the years between Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. This might have topped everything. Chase Lucas and a host of other 49ers in on the stuff on fourth down. 26-21 San Francisco, and nobody happier than Kyle Shanahan, who, I'll criticize it. I'm going to continue to criticize it. I don't think it was a good decision to run 3 times. He had a chance at the kill shot at the end of regulation. Kyle Shanahan did not take it, punt it to the Rams. The 49ers defense was exhausted, and they gave up the lead at the end of regulation, forced it to overtime. But in one of the gutsiest performances that you'll ever see, considering all the guys the 49ers had out, they just kept on coming in waves against the Rams, overwhelmed LA. They moved to 4-1. Yes, I didn't predict this. I didn't predict the 49ers winning this game, especially in this fashion, but they got it done. I mean, this team has so much grit, so many guts. I mean, look at the wins that they've notched already. The 3 division wins, that's massive. They only won 1 game against the NFC West last season. The 49ers now have beaten Seattle, shorthanded on the road. Mike, am I coming through, Mike? I know that it cut off there. The 49ers have now beaten Seattle, shorthanded on the road. Okay, good. Sorry, I had a call coming in. 49ers have now beaten Seattle, shorthanded on the road. The 49ers have now beaten Arizona with the near skeleton crew. And then today was an absolute skeleton crew for the 49ers. And they beat the Rams by a final score of 26-23? I don't even know. I have to look at the score. They had the Rams by a field goal there at the very end. Kendrick Bourne, 10 catches, 142 yards. Absolutely. I mean, the Kendrick Bourne experience today was emblematic of the game. He had a drop early on when the 49ers were up 14-0, driving to try to make it a 3-possession advantage. And that drop gave the Rams hope. We said that the 49ers couldn't get into a track meet with the Rams. And the Rams the track meet commenced at that point, but the 49ers were able to gut up and find a way to turn it back into their pace of game. And then even at the very end, when it turned into the Rams' pace of game, on that long pass from Matthew Stafford to Tutu Atwell, the 49ers found a way to dig in and make a stop. I mean, Alfred Collins had the fumble against Kyren Williams at the goal line, at the 1-yard line at the end of regulation. That's when Shanahan decided not to push for the kill shot. That's when the 49ers punted, but that was huge. The rookie grew up in front of everyone's eyes. And then in that overtime period, Sean McVay tried to be aggressive, as I thought he should be aggressive. He didn't want to give the 49ers the ball back, with a field goal being what they would need to win. And the 49ers, who gave up quite a bit on the ground over the course of this game. They were bleeding yardage toward the end of this contest. The 49ers were in position to stuff it when they absolutely needed to. I mean, the Rams had 456 yards of offense in this game, 7.1 yards per play. In comparison, the 49ers were 4.9 yards per play. They put up over 400 yards, but for the 49ers, it was a plodding game plan. That's how it had to be. I mean, we were talking about it over the course of the week. The 49ers had to hog the ball, take the air out of the game. And they did such an excellent job over the first 2 drives of that. They were up 14-0. The play count was 20 more plays than the Rams within the first half of this game. They just blinked a couple times to allow the Rams to get back in it. But then they found the resolve to finish. And that's what championship teams do. It's not about how you start. You've got to start to set yourself up. And that's what the 49ers did today. But then how do you finish? And that's always the question when you are missing so many players. When you're missing your QB1, when you're missing 3 top receivers, when you're missing your top edge rusher. I mean, edge rushers are known as finishers in this game, right? And the 49ers didn't have those guys out on the field today, but they still were able to make the finishing plays. It might have gotten ugly at times. The line was getting blasted off the football. The Rams had plenty of room downfield to operate, but at the high leverage spots, and I go back and I think of Alfred Collins, somebody who took a lot of criticism this offseason because he was just working his way into NFL shape following the calf injury at his pro day. I think of Alfred Collins when it mattered the most, less than 2 minutes left at the goal line, knocking the ball out from Kyren Williams. I think about Chase Lucas delivering with a host of other 49ers on that run, 4th and 1 to end this game. I think about Mac Jones gutting through. Mac Jones today, 33 of 49. He had to throw 49 times because the 49ers were only able to muster 2.2 yards per carry. Remember that the Rams are a really good defense. So the 49ers have now beaten the Seahawks, who are the DVOA #1 team in football on the road, and they've beaten the Rams on the road, who are the DVOA #3 team. They're probably going to drop after this, but the 49ers have beaten 2 elite teams on the road without a full host of players, and today was a skeleton crew. Only really, really good teams are able to do stuff like this. One of the many heroes today, obviously, was Mac Jones. They didn't turn the ball over. The Rams had the pitch that Blake Corum dropped. Matthew Stafford wanted to throw them a pick, but D. Winters couldn't hang on to it. And then obviously the Kyren Williams fumble, which Alfred Collins forced. But Mac Jones took care of the football. I can't remember a single play where he put the ball into harm's way. That's what an underdog has to do in a game like this. Kendrick Bourne, despite struggling with alignment once, dropping the pass that I talked about the other time, Kendrick Bourne delivered 10 catches for 142 yards. And as much as I criticize Kyle Shanahan for not taking that kill shot and making this a lot harder than it had to be, for putting the 49ers' exhausted defense in a compromised position, as much as I criticize Kyle Shanahan for that, he called a hell of a game leading up to that point, and then even after that point in overtime to lead to the 49ers win with the field goal from Eddie Pinheiro. Speaking of that, Pinheiro hit a 59-yarder, which still hadn't missed a field goal as the kicker of the 49ers. He had a 59-yard field goal, which wasn't the preseason, right? We know Jake Moody hit the 59-yarder back in Vegas, but there was not as much on the line as there was today. But Eddie Pinheiro, Eddie Dinero, they call him Eddie Money, nailed that kick. And you know what? I think that Eddie Pinheiro will soon pass Justin Tucker for the #2 spot in all-time field goal percentage. Cameron Dicker, who kicks here at SoFi Stadium for the Chargers, is #1. Pinheiro is closing in on Tucker, and he is closing in quickly. Kendrick Bourne outplayed Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams today. Despite the drop, Nacua 10 for 85, Adams 5 for 88, Stafford threw for 389 yards. But again, when it absolutely mattered, the 49ers got those greasy turnovers in this game. They followed the formula to a T. I mean, they had a 17-play touchdown drive early. Remember in 2021, San Francisco, when they were underdogs to the Rams, they opened up with an 18-play touchdown drive. They had number 10 at quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. They were just nickel and diming the Rams to death down the field. That's what the 49ers did today. Hog the ball, hog the ball, hog the ball. Perfect execution up until the Bourne dropped, and they had the Christian McCaffrey 3rd down run that got stuffed, that opened up enough of a window for the Rams, but then they closed. And, the work that the 49ers put in early in this game of racking up the play count, tiring out the Rams defense, hogging the ball, paid off at the end. Because they were able to move the ball into the field goal range in overtime. They had an 83 to 64 play advantage over the Rams. That's a big deal. Once you're running play 70 and beyond, especially 75 and 80 and beyond, you're going up against the tired defense. So the 49ers earned the little sliver of edge that they had at the very end of the game offensively. Now, of course, they were at a big disadvantage defensively against the Rams, who are gashing them, but that's why this league always comes down to those high leverage plays. The takeaways, the giveaways. The 49ers got the takeaways today, finally. They didn't get an interception yet, but they were able to get those fumbles. The pitch in the first half that Corum dropped, and then, of course, Alfred Collins delivering big. And, the biggest takeaway of all was the stop on 4th down. I think of the goal line stop against the Seattle Seahawks in Week 18 of the 2019 season on the road. This evoked a similar reaction. You think about some of the great defensive stands in 49ers history. I know that this wasn't the Super Bowl like in 1981, but this was a big deal for the 49ers to move to 4-1. They're 3-0 in the division. That's a commanding thing. They've got the best record in the NFC. They don't have their guys back yet. Guys will come back. We're going to get you a Brock Purdy status. We'll get you a Brandon Ayuk status. He's probably still several weeks off. George Kittle could be back the next game against Tampa Bay. You think about a Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall. Once the 49ers have those players back, they can be as explosive as the Rams were. Today, Malik Mustafa, too. The 49ers weren't as explosive as the Rams today, but they still found a way to win. That's the sign of an excellent team. So once the 49ers have those guys back, they can also turn up the Jets explosively. And you can firmly say now that if that happens, if they do see a nice return to health, and they lost 2 more defensive linemen today in Clea Davis and Yetur Gross-Matos, but you can fairly say now that this team is a true Super Bowl contender, bona fide, because if you could win games like this, you have the resolve that it takes. This is stuff that the 49ers definitely lost last year. They got blown out of this game last year, right? This same game last year, the 49ers got killed. That game today, they won. They beat the Seahawks, who are really good. They beat the Cardinals here. I mean, Mac Jones, 33 of 49, 342, 2 touchdowns. They've got the deepest quarterback room in the league, I think deeper than the Rams with Stafford and Garoppolo. Jones proved his worth today, played through some pain. That should have been roughing the passer near the goal line. That was a tough no call. Byron Young just landed on top of Mac Jones. But just the fact that the 49ers didn't get those calls, the fact that stuff didn't fully break their way, the fact that I will contend that Kyle Shanahan made a mistake by not going for that kill shot, the fact they still overcame. This is amazing overcoming of adversity for the 49ers, and it's become a theme over the course of this season. The miracle at SoFi, we can call it that. Not many people were expecting the 49ers to overcome this game. They took a page out of the 2021-2022 playbooks when they were underdogs against the Rams. They applied it today, but there was some reversal of what happened at that NFC Championship game too. This game was following the same flow where they looked strong, and then the Rams were just too explosive for them, and they didn't have enough in the tank, but the 49ers just dug deep, and they conjured what they needed to do to win this win. They've got a mini bye now. They can get some guys back. They're 4-1. Tampa Bay is next. I'm headed to the locker room. So long from SoFi Stadium. Check in with me in a little bit.